Hey guys, it's Emma Vigling with TYT Politics. Hope everyone's having a great day. So yesterday, the Washington Post published an expose of a failed expose, as Slate put it. James O'Keefe, a conservative activist by day and mental case by night, by day too, and just in general, all the time. And his organization, Project Veritas. I don't know, I took Latin, I should know that, but hey, it's mostly written, okay? Veritas planned to trick the Post into publishing a false assault allegation by a woman named Jamie Phillips against Republican Senate candidate Roy Moore, joining the continued efforts by some on the right to discredit the accusations against Moore, the first of which were published in the Post earlier this month. These are activists on the far right who are using manipulative tactics to discredit the media and create this fiction that it's this liberal propaganda outlet. I mean, have they watched CNN? Did they see the treatment of Bernie Sanders? But that is a pervasive talking point, and it's in part pushed by organizations like Project Veritas and Veritas. Geez, I'm never going to get it. And James O'Keefe. They're trying to pigeonhole the media as some liberal institution, as this monolith, when it's just not. The Post explains what happened. In a series of interviews over 2 weeks, the woman shared a dramatic story about an alleged sexual relationship with Moore in 1992 that led to an abortion when she was 15. During the interviews, she repeatedly pressed Post reporters to give their opinions on the effects that her claims could have on Moore's candidacy if she went public. The Post did not publish an article based on her unsubstantiated account. When Post reporters confronted her with inconsistencies in her story and an internet posting that raised doubts about her motivations, she insisted that she was not working with any organization that targets journalists. But then, yesterday morning, Post reporters saw this woman going into the Project Veritas offices. They have offices? Wow. How stupid do you have to be? It's really amazing, and I'm so glad that the good guys won here. I mean, I have my objections with really the Washington Post editorial board, but I am happy that this woman was exposed, that this sting operation just fell through, and that James O'Keefe is further embarrassed like the clown that he is. But what I do object to is the media high-fiving each other when they've treated O'Keefe's investigations and other things that right-wing activists, aka propaganda pushers, have done in the past. Now, there's a very infamous case, and there are a lot of other things that James O'Keefe has done. It would take a 20-minute video for me to explain that. But this is his entire life, is just trying to put out misinformation. And yet, for a while, the mainstream press has treated James O'Keefe with some legitimacy, when he should be treated with zero legitimacy. Project Veritas receives a few $1 million from anonymous conservative donors each year. If they're put off by O'Keefe's reporting or the $317,000 salary O'Keefe siphoned off for himself, it is yet to show. They find Project Veritas worthy of investment for a reason. After all, it only took one later debunked sting to convince Congress to defund ACORN, the now defunct low-income voter registration and community advocacy group, in 2009. That was when the media treated him the most seriously. The ACORN scandal was treated as a real thing when it just was not. And it wasn't just treated as a real thing by Fox News, which went gung-ho, obviously. It was treated seriously, or at least semi-seriously, by outlets like CNN.
May not have heard of the group known as ACORN. It's registered hundreds of thousands of new voters, and it could be in some legal trouble now over voter fraud allegations. Drew Griffin with CNN's Special Investigations Unit has just gotten some new information for us. This all captured our attention when you showed up at these places, and they just simply didn't exist.
Right. I mean, this is Lake County, Indiana, but ACORN's in trouble all across the country with its huge voter registration drive. Actually, 1.3 million new voters registered according to ACORN. The problem is, are they really voters? Up in Lake County, Indiana, they're finding out they are not.
The ACORN scandal was O'Keefe and his co-worker, Hannah Giles, coordinating with Breitbart. bastion of journalism there, allegedly dressing up like a Halloween costume pimp and a prostitute. There were videos of them in those costumes, and they asked Acorn for advice on how to run a pimp operation. Giles later admitted to the Washington Independent that the footage of O'Keefe in a pimp costume was just, quote, purely B-roll, and she disingenuously asserted that we never claimed, quote, that he went in with a pimp costume, meaning went into the offices of Acorn in that pimp costume. However, the media still ran with it. The New York Times ran with it, stated these things as fact, even though the videos were doctored, as O'Keefe has now later been known to do. New York Times senior editor Greg Brock responded to a blogger's request for comment after they had regurgitated those claims. He said, "Our article included that description because Mr. O'Keefe himself explained how he was dressed and appeared on a live Fox show where he wearing what he said was the same exact costume he wore to Acorn's offices. If you feel the Acorn videos have been doctored, then perhaps you will want to contact Fox News and ask them how and why they doctored his image." Essentially saying, hey, we just trusted Fox News and James O'Keefe on Fox News appearing in his pimp costume. That's not really that journalistic, and the New York Times should be criticized for that, and I think that the criticism in this fair article is justified. Mainstream media further reported, CNN in 2009, LA Times also in 2009, that videos caught, quote, low-level employees in 5 cities sounding eager to assist with tax evasion, human smuggling, and child prostitution, the New York Times wrote in September of 2009 as well. They never saw the full tapes nor demanded their release, despite profound discrepancies between the filmmakers' transcripts and videos, and O'Keefe having been accused of selective editing in the past. These false allegations took down Acorn. It's no longer in existence. It filed for bankruptcy, all because the media ran with it. They were complicit. And it's incredibly sad because Acorn was an institution that helped register people to vote, helped voter engagement, was a part of communities for decades. And the media was complicit in that organization just going away because they were too afraid to call a spade and see this guy as a liar. And it's all a part of this kind of, the fact that they've internalized that they have a liberal bias when they don't even at all. It's just a talking point that's been regurgitated since the Reagan administration. And they just don't want to appear conservative. Liberal. Please don't let me appear to be liberal. I love you, conservatives. I will treat your false claims with the same clout that I treat real ones. And you can say, oh, they've learned their lesson. This happened many years ago. It didn't happen again. But similar things have happened. While James O'Keefe was not involved in this Planned Parenthood body part story, the media pushed those clearly inflammatory and insane videos as potential fact. If you recall, in 2015, the doctored videos that were proven in court that they were doctored, claiming that Planned Parenthood was selling body parts. This very Washington Post that is super pleased with themselves, they took down this Project Veritas operation, allowed Charles Krauthammer to write an op-ed perpetuating these false claims back in 2015. They have control over who can write on their editorial board. You can have conservatives on your editorial board, but they can't publish lies. That's basic journalistic standards in my view. I don't think the Washington Post agrees with me, but would they have some liberal on there perpetuating lies? No, conservative lies get the clout, and liberal lies, the liberals don't even get a platform. Progressives don't even get a platform to lie on. CNN, in their neutral coverage, also gave weight to these claims. What I'm saying is that the Washington Post came out on top here and the mainstream media came out on top here, and I'm happy because right-wing nutjobs like James O'Keefe should not be taken seriously at all. But unfortunately, they have been in the past, and by these same organizations that are happy that he has been taken down right here. So there's this hypocrisy that bothers me. Again, I'm not saying that what the Washington Post did in this specific instance was bad at all. In fact, it was very good and an awesome takedown of a horrific man like James O'Keefe. I just want there to be some introspection following this. The best way to get rid of people like O'Keefe and activists on the right that just perpetuate lies and doctor videos and do so knowingly is to not give them a platform and treat their ideas and their activism as if it's equivalent to rational thought and things that have facts behind them. And unfortunately, the media has done that too often. The Planned Parenthood body parts claim is still being regurgitated and discussed by Ted Cruz. He was talking about it during the presidential campaign. He still talks about it. And that's because the media has given it life by just even legitimizing it a little bit. Acorn, an organization completely taken down. So to really combat these insane people like James O'Keefe, media, just start calling it what it is. They are liars, and what they are saying are lies.